Good morning, everybody. How you doing? We're in the greenhouse, right? And we're problem solving today. So this is the first year that I've run a complete new setup with the LEDs because before now I've been using T8 dual bulb fluorescence, which you keep, a couple inches off the top of your lights. But with these LEDs, they're mounted to my ceiling, right? And when I started the greenhouse in just after Christmas, I had those lights really low to the ground, right? And I just had all my seedlings underneath them. They got tons of light. But now, because I have 8-foot tomatoes in here, right over there, I need to have all of my lights really high because everything in the greenhouse needs to get the appropriate amount of light. The problem I'm running into now is that my seedlings for my tomatoes and my peppers are getting pretty leggy, like bad leggy. And if I don't deal with this now, I could lose the whole crop of seedlings. So I'm gonna flip this camera around. I'll show you what we're talking about, and then I'm gonna show you how we're gonna problem solve this. You don't always have to have a complicated solution for things. I got a super easy solution. I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do here. But this has to be done because once your seedlings start growing, they take off really fast, right? And tomatoes especially grow really fast. But what's happening is they are growing way too tall and way too thin, and they're gonna start falling over and I'm gonna lose them. So we're gonna do this, we're gonna problem solve. All right, so here we are. We've got the smaller LED light kind of blasting down on the tomatoes. But as you can see, let me work around here. You see those tomatoes up there in the corner? Those tops aren't getting any light whatsoever except for ambient light in the room. Now they're still producing tomatoes. You can see tomatoes. They're still producing them, but they're definitely not getting the amount of light. I mean, they're up into my rafters and now they're bending over my rafters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pinch the tops off on those so they stop growing any taller, and then they're just going to produce fruit all the way up the stems and on the suckers, which I've actually allowed to grow, and they'll be okay. But the problem is because, like I said, I need that light up high enough that everything else in here can get light, my seedlings are struggling. So the last couple of days, I got some 4 cubic foot moving boxes put together with some plywood on it. I've raised those up. The onions are doing better. You can see they're starting to stand up over there where they were flopped down before because they weren't getting enough light. So that's a good sign. These tomatoes, not so good. And then these tomatoes, look at these. See how leggy they are? See that? That's not good. Okay? So I have those on smaller moving boxes, and even though they're directly under the light, they're not close enough. They're not getting enough light. And the ladies, right? The ladies are far too tall and far too thin as well. And yes, I do have a fan. Okay, but I have to mount another fan. I'm going to mount a fan up to the ceiling to move air around this side. I just have to run an extension cord or something for a fan or figure something out. But anyways, what we're gonna do is I've got some other moving boxes outside behind me. I've already put them together. We're going to take all these plants off of here. We're gonna take these moving boxes out, and we are literally going to tape boxes on top of those boxes, and we are going to raise that up to, give or take here level. Cool? Right. So, like I was saying, sometimes your solutions don't have to be complicated. They just need to work. So I've got heavy duty boxes. As you can see, I moved books and novels in there. Each one of these boxes was like 100+ pounds. I'm not worried about it caving in. And then another moving box. So they're almost the same size, but they're the same diameter or the same width. So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to take duct tape, start at the top, bring a strip around here, tie it onto the bottom, flip this over, do the other side. Oh, yep. Yep, that's awesome. That's going to leave a mark. This is why it was much nicer to move around in here when that LED light was up in the ceiling. It's a good thing I got a hard head. So like I said, we're just going to lock it on the top, bring it across the bottom. Problem, solution. You don't have to get, you got to be able to MacGyver, you got to be able to think on your feet, but at the same time, you don't have to make things complicated. And it doesn't have to look pretty, because your seedlings don't care if it looks pretty. What they care about is they're getting everything they need to survive. So that's all we're doing. Look at that. That's a big difference, eh? How's that for a big difference from what it was? One white box to now that. So now I can just do the other side, and then we'll put everything back underneath it. And then as the plants get taller, all I need to do is just chop off the duct tape, lift off one set of boxes, put them back down, and then eventually we're gonna have this whole greenhouse full of plastic bins full of solo cups. And at that point, I don't think we're going to be able to have them on boxes, because there's going to be several hundred solo cups in here probably by the time everything's ready to plant. All right, let's do the next one. You know, the project isn't complete until you're bleeding. Stab my damn hand with my fucking knife. Awesome. So I'm just going to go clean this up, and we'll continue. A few moments later. SpongeBob reference. All right, so that was brilliant. Let's not do that one again. I had my knife on here and I wasn't paying attention, and I was tightening down the tape, and I ran my hand right into the tip of my knife here. Oh, you guys are way too close. There we go. Sorry about that. Let's get you back there. So we got 2 done. Let's put this away before I stab myself a second time. You know it's not a project until you're bleeding, right? That's the rules. I read it on the internet, so it has to be true. Oh, lovely. Little drops of blood all over the floor. Yeah, okay. All right, let's do this. Yeah. You didn't see anything. Right. So now that we got those boxes up, we're doing pretty good. What do you say we put everything back in here and see how it works out? I'll just move the camera to the side, and we'll reload this sucker. I've got 4 foot by 12 foot or 12 inch pieces of plywood. Gratuitous butt shot there. to pull these back because that's going to overshadow that now. Alright, there we go. Make sure we're generally centered. Yeah, we're generally centered. Yeah, it's good enough for the girls I date. Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. My bad. Oh, screwing this all up. What kind of creator am I? I can't even move around my own tripod. And we'll get that more out of the way. That's mostly stable, right? Mostly counts. Can we see that in the light? There we go. We've got basil and oregano and dill and cumin and rosemary and bunching onions and basil, 2 kinds of basil. It is hot in here. Ain't gonna lie. Once you turn that fan off, it's probably 30 degrees Celsius in here right now. We've got all of our pepper seedlings. And then tomatoes. Okay. That worked out pretty good, eh? What do you guys think? They're way higher now. Everything should really stop stretching and just really fill out. Because like I said, look how leggy these little tomatoes are. Right? They should be half of that size at most. So we'll get everything getting some more light. Now the only problem is when I want to work on anything over here, right? And I still have all the plants in the back. We've got the peppers and the kale and the dill, and so whenever I want to work on anything back there, I am still going to have to take out that box set, the other one, the wood, and all those trays to get back there. So I'm deciding on when I'm going to start shutting down the food that's growing in here and replacing it with the food I need to grow in here. So that's, oh, you know what? We forgot something. I think we're gonna have to rearrange. We just turn them sideways because I've got some broccoli and cauliflower coming up in here. Look at that. The Swiss chard just came up last night. So everything's on track. We've got a little cabbage popping out there. Cucamelons should be coming up any day. If not, I'll replant them. And then this stuff is all going to get a water because it's time to water everything. So, all right, guys, that's it for now. And you know, like I said, doesn't have to be complicated. And if they don't find you handsome, they should at least find you handy. You know what I'm talking about. All right, smash that subscribe button, guys. If you're not subscribed, give me a big thumbs up. I appreciate it. Leave me a comment down in the comment section and have yourself a fantastic day. And you know what else? Grow good food. Love you. Bye.